Hi everyone, this is Bruce. My name is Bruce Song, and I live in New York City. I'm 26 years old, and I just quit my jobs today to start this YouTube channel because I think at this point I finally want to do something on my own. Just to create a channel to share my thoughts, the experience, and personal growth, and also share like some opinions about the trends, and also how to, like everyone said, you can retire early, but also you contribute something into the society. I actually just graduated like 1 year ago. I went to in the crypto industry. I learned finance and economics in New York University, and after that, I got a job in a crypto exchange. And some of my peers, they took off pretty early. They got a very high compensated job, and some people like me, we kind of worried about the visas, uncertainty. So recently, I actually, fear, spend a lot of time, and also the pressure, the party, and try to forget the reality. But I know that's not like the way out to the kind of trap. I feel like people like me at my age, Gen X, we actually face a lot of problems. The problems include mental health and also some peer pressure, and also, we are born in a very fast paced information stage, and there's a lot of information every day. We just do, just scrolling on the TikTok like in the AM and feeling more lost than ever. So I feel quite exhausted. We're kind of overwhelmed by those speeds, the noise, competition, and a lot of global conflicts. And also, we have to live in the expectation of our parents, our friends, and we have to, be very consistent with progress. And I think the truth behind all this that we don't say out loud is that we're actually terrified is being left behind. And at this kind of fast-paced environment, I know that the wealth is becoming more harder to build, but actually on the other side, the AI increase our efficiency, and people who utilize AI explore more new opportunities may take that advantage to build a lot of wealth. And the world is just changing faster than you and me can understand. That's exactly why I'm starting this channel at almost the end of the 2025. I hope that it can be the journey that um, I can record some progress and also share some insights if that can help you. So just I want this to be a place where we can decode what's happening in the world and where some real opportunities are and how to build a long-term wealth, no matter in relationship, in money, or in personal career or personal growth. You can build your own wealth upon that, and also how to grow as a person in like this middle of this all chaos. Today, actually, I want to share you with my personal story with Bitcoin because actually, in the past 2 years after I graduated, I found that like investing in Bitcoin maybe it's probably the best decision I've made during these 2 years. I got a job that I'm interested in that, and I found that it cannot add some long-term value. But the Bitcoin, this story, I want to share with you guys is that I can really be the key part to change some wealth build journey for the Zen X. All right, the first time I heard about the Bitcoin was around 2018, and that's kind of very late compared to other, those pioneers and the people who lived in the crypto space. Back then, I didn't see the value because I just went to university. I don't think I'm smart or intelligent. I'm just get some luck to get into a nice reputation university to start my learning journey. But I care more about altcoins at that time because the upside is very huge for those altcoins, and they looks very fancy, cool, and a lot of venture capital back back. So I actually found Bitcoin at around 8,000 US dollar, but at that time I think it's too expensive, and I don't have like the patience to figure out a way how to buy it, and I just simply don't understand it. But there's kind of the concept that running into my words. Um, I didn't know how to buy it. I don't know where to buy it. I don't understand what it is. I only know it's just crashed from a higher price. I think it's over 10,000 USDT. So like most people, I just glanced at it and moved on. So what changed my mind is that later I tried to buy some altcoins like the Polygon and Ethereum, since I think the name is pretty cool. So I tried to open a Coinbase account and I browsed all types of the token. They looks pretty fancy, the protocols, layer 2. I have no idea what those things are, but um, it looks really revolutionary. And I think at this stage, it's my confusion stage. But when I see those stuffs going up and down, and the price changes very dramatic every day, I know it's more fun than stock market. So in my youth, I actually save some money aside to invest in the crypto market. So I decided to, get into this market to see how I can get profit. I still remember that I spent some money to buy the Polygon token and also browse those videos on the YouTube. And those, they promote those tokens for some good reasons. And I, as a young guy, I saw them and just hype into them. And I actually got some Ethereum back then. And the main accident happened to me the moment that changed me. It's around the time FTX collapsed. I had money inside, and also I accidentally transferred to Ethereum. That's almost like half of my savings at that moment to a Patient wallet. It's a Thanksgiving, and I was supposed to enjoy a steak dinner, but it's just very painful that you realize you just get scammed, and I feel very empty, helpless at that time. The wasn't about the money, but it's also shattered the illusion that I actually understand all those stuff. And after that, the market went into the bear market. After a year, the Bitcoin just crashed from 60K to 15K. And I was so shocked by the price movement. But surprisingly, Bitcoin not just walk away and keep going down. It just stopped at 15K and starting to recover. But at that time, I actually away from the market because I thought all those things can crash down 90%. I kind of lost hope on that. But the thing is that the Bitcoin just survived again from 15K back to 20K, then 30K, and I started asking myself, why does something that gets declared dead so many times keep just coming back stronger? So I just try to force myself to learn, and that's when everything get changed. Because I just realized that Bitcoin's value had nothing to do with the speculation. It has everything to do with the structure of our financial world. And that's the thing. I need to spend time to sit down and to study, to know the fundamentals behind all those stuffs, and to appreciate its true value. So if you don't fully get Bitcoin, that's totally fine. Let me just try to explain it in a simple way. I know. So the Bitcoin is four things. It's actually the first asset in human history with mathematically guaranteed scarcity. You know, the gold is scarce until someone finds more. The dollars are also scarce, but the government can actually print more in nowadays world. But Bitcoin is fixed. It's not influenced by the politics. It's not affected by banks. It's supported by math and physics. The absolute scarcity is programmed. Bitcoin actually is a tool that made me realize that it is a solution to the biggest problem of our generation, especially Gen X. We actually operate in broken money. So the dollars we receive, the RMB, any currency, we are losing value each every year. Our savings can not outrun the inflation. That's why people put most like the cash into the stock market. And housing is out of reach. Wages stagnate. You work hard every year, but you get further behind. So I realized that Bitcoin is the exit door and is a hope for this system. So you may wonder why young people we are desperately needed. Because in the past, our parents' generation they built their wealth by buying the real estate, the stock market expansion, and also they buy some low cost assets during high growth periods. But at current time, we don't have that, but we do have a new whole world of digital assets. The global mobility, decentralized ownership, and the borderless storage of the value. We actually have the chance to catch once in a century's transition, and what I mean by that is the Bitcoin. And the fourth point is that I think Bitcoin is not great, it's more like a hope. In a world full of uncertainty, the conflict, devaluation, and political risk, Bitcoin is more borderless, permissionless, censorship resistant, and it's a non-inflationary asset. It's owned by no government, and I think it's the first financial asset designed for regular people. So just think about people back in Africa or some hyperinflation area. They already transfer their money into the Bitcoin for savings because Bitcoin actually is a perfect vehicle for them to save in the economic energy. Most thing matter is that you actually spend some times to take a look on it because it's more like an insurance for rich people, but also it's another fast driving vehicle for people who want to actually preserve preserve wealth in future. And at the third part, I want to share about the future, the logic, and how you can actually start. All right, let's talk about the future. I'm not here to hype anything, just simple logic. The first, a quick market reality check. The gold is about $13 trillion. The global equities is 100 trillion. So the real estate is 300 trillion, and Bitcoin right only 1.3 trillion. So if the Bitcoin actually becomes a digital version of the gold, we are looking at 200k to 300k. If it becomes a global digital reserve asset, which is where the things are heading right now, I'm thinking of, you're talking about 500k to over 1 million per Bitcoin. And that's not a wishful thinking, it's just literally just a math. Every cycle, we saw the same pattern that Bitcoin just built up the momentum and it crashed. People doubted and it's just recovered. And this cycle is different. Everyone's just keep talking about that institutions coming. I think that's kind of the same as every technology, especially new innovation happens. There's always like small group of people found this technology, and there's early adopters and major adopters and late adopters. Um, and you can see right now the government start paying more attention. The tech companies are joining, and every group that doubted Bitcoin eventually they become a participant. And Bitcoin is basically a capital black hole. It pulls in disbelief and it turns it into the adoption. So this is actually a big trend I'm saying, and I think it's a 10-year fast track for especially ZenX. And I encourage everyone, you don't have to buy the Bitcoin or you just simply buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. But the more important thing is that you realize the technology and you try to fully understand it. Just spend some time to, take a rest, to allocate some time to this field and try to understand the basics, economics, and the world's logic. And finally, I want to share like how you can start. And I think taking the action is always important. Like I always want to start my channel, but until today, I finally just try to record my first video. So start. The first step is extremely important. You embrace some embarrassment, awkwardness. Here's the thing I actually personally would do. The safety comes first. Like you need to understand which exchange you're going to use to buy the Bitcoin. Here is something I highly recommend. You can first do it by buying a very small portion of the Bitcoin, because once you buy it, that keeps you thinking about it. You need to notice the price, and then you can try to investigate through watching some YouTube videos, the podcasts, and some books. I will share some great educational resources of Bitcoin in our. But I think at first you can just buy a very small portion of it and to see how it goes and spend some time to um, just study it. So if you are still here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching at this point. I'm not here to sell you some courses or just to trick you or to promise some instant riches to you. I'm here because I'm 26. I also face a lot of like the problems. I know how what feels like to be lost, anxious, and uncertain. And I also know that every arrow has its moment of wealth migration, and the people who catches it early will rewrite the destiny. So this channel will keep get updated with how to build your personal wealth, the investment, the Bitcoin, the AI, the macro trends, personal growth. If you want to grow with me, welcome to the beginning. This is episode 1, and let's build something great together. Thanks.